Hello, hello, and welcome to the Coaching Corner with me, Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. For those of you who are new to the Coaching Corner, I am Jamila, the IEP Coach, founder of the IEP Coach LLC. We're an education consulting company, and we specialize in providing professional development and coaching to special education teams, teachers, and paraprofessionals sitting around special education because across this country, we have a lot of districts and schools that are in litigation due to non-compliance with their IEPs. And a lot of it stems from special education teachers not being properly trained and supported. And as a result, districts got to pay out millions in settlement. And this is where we come in at. We provide the coaching, hands-on professional development and coaching, not just on IEP compliance, but on the nuances of being a special education teacher, the everyday, the progress monitoring, the case management to help keep the district out of litigation. All right, that's just a little bit about what we do at the IEP Coach. So make sure you go ahead, share out this live. As I'm telling you to share it out, I'm sharing it out as well. Tonight's topic, we will be focusing on special education leaders working in a broken school system. We did some content on SPED teachers working in a broken school system, and there was a SPED leader who commented and said, "What about SPED leaders?" So we was like, "Why not focus? Why not do some content on SPED leaders working in a broken school system?" All right. So those of you who are coming in, let me know where you are tuning in from. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we've prepared just about 5 tips on what you can do if you are a special education leader and you're working in a broken school system. So make sure you share this out with SPED leaders that you know. They may be new leaders. Hey, they may be have a couple years under their belt, but they're working in a broken school system and they need to know how do I navigate this environment. All right. So first off, you want to make sure you focus on your high impact areas as a special education administrator. So focus on your compliance with your IEPs, focus on your teachers, focus on the things that you have control of. You can make sure you support your teachers. You can make sure you support them with the IEP compliance. IEP compliance is like one of your number one priorities as a special education administrator. So getting yourself organized, how you're going to support your teachers, how they're going to do progress monitoring, how they're going to monitor the IEP goals is like your number one priority. So make sure you plan that time accordingly and how you will support the teachers. So focus on like your high impact areas, which is going to be your IEP compliance and your teachers, because you're not trying to get in no lawsuit. Okay. Next thing you want to do is build a support network. Now, I know some of you are like, well, I don't have no one else that I can speak to. I don't have no one in my school. Hey, it could be someone else in your network. It could be somebody else in the district. Or, hey, if you have no one at your place of employment or in the district or network, go online. There are so many groups for special education teachers, and you can even direct your teachers to do the same. And for special education administrators, do a Google search and you can find a community, because you cannot do this work alone. You have to be in community with other SPED leaders, because you guys can share ideas, share things that are going on. How do I go about managing this? How do I go about addressing this? They can give you input on how you can just move efficiently in your role. Okay. So you definitely have to build a support network. Okay. Number 3, you want to make sure you document everything. You have to cover yourself, because I'm just going to come out and say it. Listen, you can get thrown under the bus so easy, because when things hit the fan, everybody's trying to save themselves. No one's going to try to save you. You got to save yourself. So you got to make sure you're covering yourself. So you document everything. When you have phone calls with parents, follow up with an email regarding, oh, thank you for that. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for taking my call today, and do a brief summary of what you guys talked about. That's documentation. You talk with a parent outside the school. Get inside, draft a quick follow-up email. Because if you don't, that parent can say, I didn't talk to you. We never had that conversation. When you're supporting your teachers, make sure you document like any sessions that you do, what you did, documentation for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you could get thrown under the bus. And you want to make sure you have your documentation to cover you. Number 4, advocate for improvement and increment. So like, I know sometimes as a SPED leader, you're like, oh my God, this need to change and that need to change and that need to change. Focus on small things first and work your way up, because you will overwhelm yourself and you can burn yourself out trying to conquer the mountain before conquering a hill. Okay? So, for example, let's say you can focus on perhaps changing, hey, let's do progress monitoring on this day, or let's go about doing progress monitoring this way. That's something small that can benefit the teachers, which will benefit the students. You can start small there and then work your way up. I think sometimes as SPED leaders, we feel like we got to conquer everything, but you're one person. You got to think about what is your capacity and be honest with yourself. Okay. Next, lastly, celebrate your wins. Listen, I know you're tired. I know you get overwhelmed. Your teachers are tired and overwhelmed as well. And sometimes that's all you got is your team. So showing appreciation, celebrating wins, no matter how big or small they are, celebrate it, because you have no idea what that can do for you and for your team. Your teachers seeing that you actually appreciate the work that they are doing, that can do so much for them. And in turn, it can do so much for you. That can help the morale of your team, because, hey, special education is a lot of work, and it can be hard and it can be daunting, especially if there's not enough of your team, and they're leaning on each other, or everybody's working in isolation, so it doesn't even feel like a team. Like having those conversations with your team to celebrate wins can do a lot for morale. And try to do quick check-ins with your team. I remember one particular year, it was, I want to say this was like right before break. I think it was for Thanksgiving break. When I tell you, my team and I, we were exhausted. We felt like we were hanging on a thread. And I never forget, I had some tea. I'm a tea drinker. I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea drinker. And I had a lot of extra tea left over from this. You know how sometimes they have those tea kits, you get all these different tea bags in it. So I got some sandwich bags, and everyone got like 4 or 5 tea bags in it. And they also got a note in it. And it said, positive outcomes are brewing. Something so simple and small as that, my team really appreciated it. Like, even one of the clinicians that was on my team, she pinned the note up on her wall. I had no idea how she would be affected by that. Clearly, that helped, uplift her in some way. The fact that, because you don't just put anything on your wall. You don't just be pinning anything. Like, she really appreciated that, and she pinned it up on her wall. And I got so many thank yous, like, oh my God, this was so nice, this was so sweet. And like, that little moment of joy I was able to give my team did so much for them. It kind of gave them that extra push to keep going. So any acts of appreciation that you can show for your team, do them. Celebrate those big wins, celebrate the small wins. It's going to help all of you. It's going to help the team. It's going to help you all. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. So you're a SPED leader working in a broken school system. Here are some tips that you can definitely implement to help you move accordingly in your environment. You want to focus on your high impact areas, which is your IEP compliance and supporting your teachers. So you definitely want to do that and get your systems in place for that, and focus, like, that's your main focus. Focus on supporting that, and create a schedule that you can actually stick to, where you can check in with them, check in on their IEP progress, how many IEPs you have coming, who needs support. That's your focus. You want to build a support network. Now, you may not have it in your school or your network or your district. Go online, do a Google search, do a Facebook search group, do a Facebook group search. There are so many groups. I'm in so many SPED leader groups and SPED teacher groups. I'm in so many. And then also, if you do have support at your school, leverage the support in your school, in your district, or your network, because you can't do this work alone. You got to be in network. You got to be in collaboration with other leaders, because they will help you with managing any problems that you have or any issues that arise. You can get input from other leaders because they may have been through the same thing or something similar, and they can support you, and vice versa. You want to make sure you document everything, because at the end of the day, you have to cover yourself, because you can get thrown under the bus real quick. You have to cover yourself. Conversations, meetings, follow up with an email. You go to meetings with your administration. Take a notebook with you so you can take your notes. Document. Advocate for improvements and increments. So start with something small that you may want to change, and then work up to bigger things. And then last but not least, celebrate your wins with your team. Like, show your appreciation. Like, it really goes a long way. It helps morale. It helps you and your team to make it through another day, or make it through the quarter. You know, because sometimes you got to take it a month at a time. Sometimes you take it a quarter at a time, because, you know, this work can be overwhelming, but it's manageable. It's manageable, and you can do this. And if you need the help of the IEP coach, reach out to us, okay? You can email us. You can click the link in our bio. You can email us. You can DM us, message us. We're very responsive, okay? All right, I just want to remind you all that our IEP in a Nutshell workshop, it is coming up on Tuesday, November the 26th. This workshop is for you if you need to learn about the main parts of the IEP. If you're confused at all and you want to be better prepared for your IEP meetings, show up as an informed IEP team member, this is for you. So this is for parents, administrators, teachers, related service providers. This is for you, okay? And it is absolutely free, okay? It is free. So if you are on Instagram, click the link in the bio. Everyone else, you can click. I'm putting it in the comments. So go ahead and register. And it's also going across the screen, okay? For you to register, the registration link is there. So it's bit.ly/IEP-nutshell-1. Okay. And if you have any questions, please message us your questions. We will definitely answer them for you. Hey, some of your questions that you asked, we made content from it. So listen, you got questions, send them to us, all right? Send us your questions. And as always, please be kind to yourself. Remember, you're only one person. Be mindful of your capacity and what you have control over. So be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, and be safe. I will see you I won't see you next week because we have our workshop next week. So we will see you in December. So enjoy your Thanksgiving break. I know some schools you have off some schools have off all next week. Some schools you don't have off until Wednesday, if I'm correct. So enjoy the time with your family. And we will see you, December, the first Tuesday in December so we will see you on December 3rd. Be safe.